Not really sure what weight I'm going to get up to. I'm just going to do doubles. Um, Sore from this morning a little bit. My back is sore from the deadlift I did yesterday, so I may not have peak strength. But we're not going to use straps today. We're going to pull from the floor, and I'm going to probably just do doubles and see how those feel. Especially in the cold, it might not feel great, but we're going to work up on doubles and see what feels fine. I don't know if I'll do multiple sets. I don't know how that's all going to work. Just depends on how I feel. And then some power cleans and push press, and then some snatch pulls. And that should be it since we got all our squats done, which is nice. It's nice mentally to have those done because it feels like I already had a productive day of training. So it is kind of nice to already be ahead of the eight ball in some sense. But it is still cold out here. I kind of wish I took all my stuff to go to the gym, and I convinced myself that it's going to be warm on the drive home, and it's not really. But it's not too bad to where I won't be able to train normally. It's just uncomfortable right now. But once I get moving, then I'll feel good. So we'll start moving the bar a little bit. I'm wearing knee sleeves today, and so I have them under these pants. So I got several layers on. So knee wise, I'll be fine. Just everything else will be a little bit cold for a little bit. Oh, oh, my traps and upper back are really sore. Just interesting. Oh. We'll get the shoes on. I just feel normal levels of sore, so it's not too bad. But we get my dance shoes on. Anabolic burps. Oh, but yeah, it's not too warm. Not too warm. I feel like it was warmer this morning, but I think that's because it was so warm yesterday, and most of the cold that's kind of resulting after yesterday is happening more so tonight than this past morning. Kind of a weird experience, but I'll take the nice day. I think it was like in the 60s yesterday, which is quite um, unique for February. Back to relatively normal temperatures today, in the 40s, certainly manageable. I think the low is only like 29 today, so it's not too bad. But contemplate doing block stuff again, doing um, powers, all kinds of different things. But we'll just do regular old snatchy boys and see how those feel. But my traps are like the most sore, which is really weird. My mid back is a little bit, but my traps are just so sore, which is so weird. I don't know if that's from any, like, I could be from multiple days, whatever particular exercise. Um, yeah, I'm in a nuclear shelter, so all you need to survive a nuclear blast is Olympic weightlifting equipment. So that's all I have in mind. No food, water, or anything. Um, I live in my nuclear bunker here. Um, that's what the previous question just asked about. So I essentially just bring my weights out here, and I'm just waiting for the nuclear bomb to go off, and that way I'll still be able to lift weights once civilization is destroyed. So Just a little bit of water. You don't need anything else. The weights will, I'll just eat the weights if I get hungry. Why would I be in danger? I'm in my nuclear bunker. I'm perfectly safe from a nuclear blast. But do the bar a little bit more. So one of the big tips if you are training in the cold is just do the bar a lot. I need the weights. I don't know who that is. I like how people ask if I'm someone, but you could just look at the channel and see. You could look at the like it says my username, but that's a little advanced, level of work. All right, get the hands warm. Oh. I'll get these on. Throw thumb tape on just to give myself no excuses for being bad. Oh, tea's cold. We'll do the bar once again, and then we'll go to 50 kilos. Start slanging some weights. I think people come in and try to get a reaction. It doesn't work too well when I work with children. When you elicit similar behaviors, I resort to routine habits. Alright. When we're set with the bar. Some chocolate. Alright. I don't watch any bodybuilding at all. There's a lot I watch as far as lifting goes. Bodybuilding and most powerlifting is certainly not one, but I'd be much more likely to watch a powerlifter before bodybuilding because I've never had interest in bodybuilding. It's too subjective. But yeah, could be great in Turkey. Who knows? All right, 50 kilos going up on a Tuesday. Not too bad. Nothing hurts or anything, which is nice. Gold bronze. Unfortunately. I don't know. I don't like being a Browns fan, but it's the burden I was born into. Unfortunately, I'm stuck. Could have picked any of the other teams and had more success in my lifetime than the Browns. Other than maybe the Jets. I don't really have an opinion on John Elway. I wasn't alive when he was beating the Browns back in the day, but I'm not that deep of a fan of the Browns to care about what John Elway did in the what was it, the 70s or 80s? I don't even know when he played, but I'd be hard pressed to. Yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't alive when that happened, so it's not really relevant to me. It'd be kind of like if I was a Bills fan. Um, Although I think it'd be worse to be a Bills fan to make Super Bowl 4 times and not win. Browns just getting to an AFC Championship and losing. Like, it's not really that. I don't know. Like, even if they won a Super Bowl then, like, it wouldn't have mattered to me. I was not born. Was not quite conceived yet. What year was that? The 98 year drive. Oh, late 80s. Yeah. I'm a early 90s baby, not a 80s. But, yeah, I mean, like, that's what's weird is, like, historical things like that. Like, it's interesting, but I'm not one to be like, if the Browns had won 4 Super Bowls in the 80s, like, it wouldn't have mattered to me now because I'm watching them now. I don't want them to suck now. My whole life they've sucked. Even for a couple of years they didn't exist, so can't do much. Can't do much about that. Oh. Oh yeah, 86. Why is Bert Tilley trying to kill me? Niles wants me to get hurt. Toxic. But we'll go up to 90 now and see how that feels. Almost did a second one too good. Almost threw it behind me. Playing with my grip a little bit. to have it a bit looser in my hands, or at least adjust like how exactly the bar is sitting my hook grip. So it's feeling good. I think it's probably because it's looser in the sense that I'm more relaxed. So probably a net positive, but we'll go up to 100 now. Probably not a double, but we'll see how it feels. Thirty-one people, that's too many. Too many. Y'all gotta leave. There's not enough space out in my bunker. It's fire code. Sorry. Fire code of 3. I held 12. It went down from 31 to 19. I said that. I appreciate all the people that respect local fire code ordinances. Mad respect. Haters will say it's private property and you're in a shed in your backyard. You don't have a fire ordinance for the number of people that could be in your shed. And while that technically might be true, we ain't got a lot of space out here. we don't got a lot of space. All right. Oh. It's a lazy rep. I set the finish a bit harder. It's nothing much to it. Just gotta lock in. I'll do it again here. Fix my tunes. It is fine. We'll hit it here though. Muy bien. Toxicity, I love it. But better than the first set. So that was just 100, which is not too bad. So we're gonna go to 105 and see if I can move that the same. Can't even stand behind their own words. They're deleting their own message. We all saw it. Alright. So 105. Just one. I had to save it a little bit. Street. Oh, the thing that Trohidi was doing. If only I trend up, I could be part of that. If I trend harder, Anvar give up. I need to put more thumb tape on. I don't really understand like the appeal of that for. I don't understand like the appeal of a competition like that. It's like I get like that competition venue and it being like open for people, but it's not accessible for people that aren't already elite weightlifters. So it's just an expedition to kind of showcase people doing weightlifting, I guess. I think weightlifting competitions could be even more casual. Like I don't understand why you have to wear a singlet or anything. Just be, mostly tight-fitting clothes, so there isn't like obfuscation of, various lifts. But I don't know. I've lost interest in competitions almost entirely, and yes, that's the true key. And so for me, like a competition like that doesn't really appeal to me because it's not attainable for an average person. I'm not going to be like, oh, there's going to be a local weightlifting street lifting league. Like, it's not like you can't really scale it down. I guess you can, but I don't know. It's just too weird to try to scale for ordinary people. It'd be like doing a team powerlifting meet. Like, it just doesn't. You lift the weight yourself. Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it. Like the whole like teams can score points together. I get it if you're all elite weightlifters, maybe, but like that's just almost random if you have enough to like have the same amount on a team or whatever. But yeah, and that's why it's nice. I have a friend that counts for me at competitions. It's just I have to find local meets, but yeah, joining clubs are too expensive. That is the it is like one of my pet peeves when I see a weightlifting person coach online whose entire income is based on them being a coach and getting money from that, which is fine. I don't have an issue with them doing that, but then them also saying it's important that you have to have a coach. You know, that's the first thing you should do when you get to weightlifting. Like, unless you're gonna take drugs and go up to the Olympics, just do weightlifting. Just literally start snatching, clean jerking. It doesn't matter. Like, if you are a 12-year-old kid and you want to do weightlifting, yes, you should get a coach. But like that's true of literally any sport that you do at that age. If you're a 22-year-old adult, like about the time that I started, 23 or whatever, it literally doesn't matter. Unless I'm gonna hop on literally everything under the sun and pay bribes so I could go to the competition still, it does not matter because it's just competing against yourself. If you want to, like, if you're coordinated and you film yourself, you're gonna get better technique. And if you can look at someone else doing it and then you do it yourself, you're just gonna. I don't know. It's like it's so expensive. It's not like it's $20 a month. It's not a big deal. It's like $100+ a month for coaching or a club or any of that. Like people have to spend money on important things. Like I like weightlifting. I'm obsessed with it, but dang, if it was like $200 a month, like I wouldn't be doing it. Like it's if I had to pay 100, one gym up north has like a weightlifting club, and it's like $125 a month, and like they all do the same programming. If $125 a month, I should have a purely custom program, 24/7 access to a gym, massages weekly. Like I should like $125 for me is a ton to spend per month, and just to get a program that everyone else is doing on the team that does the same thing. Like I can write my own program that's individualized to me, and it has stuff I'm gonna buy into. Like I don't need to pay someone $125 to do this. Like I literally I'll spend my own money. But yeah. And there are some gyms like the gym I go to. It's not a weightlifting gym, but like it's 24/7 access. So like once you go above $100, it has to be 24/7, and it has to have amenities to it. The one gym I tried out in the summer wasn't like actually going to switch there or anything, but I went there. It was $25 for a day pass, which is already ridiculously high. They had a Rogue weightlifting bar, which is not, it's a fine bar, but $100 a month, which is the monthly for there, which it doesn't include coaching. It's just a facility. It has to be everything Alico. Like it's got $100 a month. It's everything has to be Alico and pristine, not a Rogue Ollie training bar. Like I got one of those in my house. They're not expensive. $100 a month. I could just not go there for 3 months and buy a nice bar. $1,200 a year. That's money I can just pour into here. I mean, my gym now is like $35, and that has 24/7 access, machines, cardio equipment, and it's a really like cool place to be. So it has the atmosphere as well. But $100 a month for just the gym. That's actually not a good business model. I don't even think it's competitive. All right, 1 or 2. Damn it, I sat too long. You got me too hyped up, Tony. At least I missed it behind, though. Got a little too jazzed up. But yeah, it's for gym plus CrossFit classes, like that you could almost like you're in a lot there. But we can't end on a goofy miss like that. We gotta lock in that. Which means we lose the Browns hat. We lose the loser hat. That's what's weighing me down, to be honest. The Browns. The Browns be weighing me down. Alright. should pay someone $150 a month to tell me that. That one felt a lot better. I felt it go out front as I started to pull it. And that's when I can run it into the shed shelf to do, but we'll get one more attempt at it, and we'll drop down to 100 if it doesn't work. I can do it. I just got to just keep it close. That's all it is. A PR and what? All right, 105. Oh my gosh. Alright, we'll go down to 100. Looking like Chandler Gin in the bottom. Also losing the thumb tape. Placeboing myself that it's not working. In a deadlift? No. I just hit 300 kilos. Wasn't a PR though. Alright. Yeah, lock in at 100. Alright. We're locked back in. We're locked back in. So back to 105. Much better. Where's that double bounce on the second one? On the, like, just stand up. It's just, I just wasn't centered enough to go just stand straight up. So it's just to get the bar back to being over my center of my foot, I suppose. But yeah, 105 for 2 is good. Especially, you saw the bunch of freaking misses. So we'll do one more set and stay at 105 and see if I do 1 or 2 more reps. So either a single or a double, but it's a good weight. I actually end up being, although very ugly with the misses, but 4 doubles like I have been doing and pushing pretty hard. So in theory, I think this morning was probably the most volume, or at least like matching the most volume I'll do in the back squat. And then this evening will be the most volume that I do in the snatch, probably, unless I drop down. We'll do 1 more double here. Then what I could do is some drop sets, because really it's just the focus today is just doing a lot of snatches. So it's kind of nice just that I can kind of use whatever energy I have to do them. But we got to get 1 more rep at 105, and then see what happens after. Either be done or lighter, not heavier. Be close, be aggressive. Get the wedgie out, get ready to lift. Uno más. Actually, the fight for the last one pretty hard, but definitely good makeup sets. Not really makeup, but good comebacks, I suppose. So I mean, I did the last block. It's what, 4 doubles at 100, albeit I didn't miss anything, but here at least we still did 4 doubles. First one was 100, missed a bunch at 105, and thank you. I missed 105 a bunch. I missed 100 today, so I think it will take some. Partially it's one of those days, but it'll take some time to be used to just training in the morning and just being used to that. But I adjusted. I gotta stop thinking about my grip, which I think helped, but moved my feet in a little bit and didn't really point my toes out more, but just kind of adjusted them a little bit because they're in a little bit. And I think I was dropping my hips too low, and I just tried to essentially start my push from the floor with my hips in the same position. So still my dynamic start, but not trying to sink my hips too far and kind of throw my balance off. I think that was partially messing me up. Thinking of too many variables and just trying to not trying to overcomplicate it, not just keep it simple. But it's good to hit that for 2 doubles and end on 2 doubles and make up for the not really. I keep saying make up, but like come back from the misses and the struggle with it. So good for the snatch session today. We're gonna do some power clean plus push press, not volume. I don't know what I'm gonna work up to, but we'll do 70, 100, and then see what it feels like from there. This I actually will throw more thumb tape on. Doesn't really bother me for cleans ever, but for snatches I feel like the tape slips around, which is kind of annoying. So it does help. Like the material does protect the thumbs, but when it's sliding, it will throw you off. And potentially that helped me a little bit too, but I think that's more mental than actual difference. But just have to reinforce the same technique. And yep, starting. And really just keep the bar close. I mean, that's always a technical thing to think about. So it's never not a thing to think about. But yeah, I mean, after I made those adjustments, I actually felt really. It was odd. Like the one random 105 that I guess like just smashed by. It felt so heavy, but I think I took too long before I did that. And then they started to feel better. That's why I kept, even though I was missing, I kept trying because it wasn't like after I had the bad miss and then the regular miss where it felt fine. I just was doing bad technique. But yeah, I just have to reinforce that on these other days. But that will be good. But yeah, I'm gonna take the yellow and a clip off and then push press. Just do a single. I did some push press or pressing volume yesterday. I'm really not trying to do a lot with push press, but we'll do 70, 100, and we'll do 70, 100, and then maybe like 110 and 120 maybe. We'll see. Really depends on how the power cleans feel. Obviously, how the push press, but I think the power clean will not feel the best with my legs not being super fresh, but we'll see. I've been wrong before. Jeez. Teas will be a fun exercise, but we'll go ahead and listen to some roots, bloody roots. chest is too big. I'm actually gonna detour and do these with straps to stretch my wrists out a little bit. She'll make them harder for me. Because I'm too big. Too yacked. I was gonna struggle. Grammar is kind of shockingly bad. I hope English is not your first language, because that was an embarrassingly poorly written sentence if you're a native English speaker. I'm gonna put my old man glasses on for you. That's how you know the grammar's bad. When I have to double check what I'm reading. Alright, we're gonna go to 120. And we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna reverse our detour and go back to wrist wraps and not straps, so I can actually do a full clean if I need to. So I don't break myself. Alright. This will hopefully be a power, but if I do a full, I'll still call it a power. It's a power no matter what. Well, we need to lose the loser hat. No loser hat for me. So once you do this one, then do some pulley boys. Push it way out in front, but it'd be like that. We'll drop down and do. I kind of feel like I can do that though. I want to do it one more time, honestly. TBH. Clean actually felt really easy, so we'll give it one more whirl and then we'll do our quick pulls at. Oh, it'll be at 105. Honestly, we'll just do them at 110. There's no reason to do 105 pulls, but maybe that's why I should do them. One more push press attempt at 120. We need to get some tunes though. We need to be yamming. Yamming and slamming. Alright. There you go. Really surprised how easy the clean felt. Not like I want to power clean more, but thought that would feel harder. But just did it better. On that first one, I just pushed it out in front, and so it just wasn't. I mean, I just bench pressed it, and it was just. I knew as soon as I started to try to press it, it was just way too far in front to save, and with that one, I just got it more vertical. Essentially, just got it back more. Did a lot better. Really just thought about my front rack, keeping it all like my elbows up, so my dip drive was straighter. And I think that was the difference. That and going from 100 to 120 is just too big of a jump for me. I'm just too weak, unfortunately. So we'll learn and do 110 in between, and then jump to 120. It won't be too bad. But now my idea with pulls thematically, and I didn't hold true to this yesterday, I guess in a sense I did, but is to do the same weight that I snatch. And so Monday or Sunday I did block snatches up to 120, and so I did my 3 sets of 2 pulls at 120. And so today I got it to 105, so I'm going to do my 3 sets of 2 at 105. I think what that will do is allow me to regulate my pulls in a much more conservative way. That way that they are not heavy. I mean, yesterday, I say that and I like maxed out my deadlift yesterday where it was super heavy, but like I did clean pulls at the 145 that I cleaned that didn't jerk. So at least for some of the days, some of the exercises, yeah, we in a shed. We in a shed. But we'll get this green off, throw the clip on, and just a quick 3x2 cluster. That's, I guess, one thing that's nice with the lighter pulls is the clusters are even easier. And I also get the benefit of working on the speed quality of the pull as well. So it's kind of it's not fun, but it's good work despite it not being fun, and it won't be difficult to recover from. So work on the speed a little bit, still the technique, and still get to recover a little bit better. Noro. I don't know what that is, but hope you feel better. Yeah, I just got over a cold Saturday. Really, I started to feel a little bit Friday. Had a bit of a cold Saturday where I was just fatigued, and now it's like I've had this same version of a cold like every year of my life, but you get like a day of fatigue, and then you get a stuffy nose, symptoms a little bit, and then it just all drains, and then I have like I probably to myself I sound a little sick, but it's just because everything's draining, and so I don't necessarily have a lot of phlegm or anything. It's just a lot of that um, congestion is drained out a little bit, which is good because it means that I don't feel bad. Like I still train normal. Like today, I have good energy and stuff. Um, but it's just kind of annoying because it makes me cough more and stuff, which is not good when you're teaching all day. But I really should be good in a day or two, to be honest. For most of the symptoms, my nose doesn't even really stay. It's not stuffy anymore, and I only took cold medicine in the morning, and that's usually what I do for like a cold. Is as soon as symptoms appear, or like I feel like I'm gonna like have symptoms the next day, I just boom take cold medicine, even if it's just a little bit of a sore throat to get ahead of it, and then stay on top of it, and then just lower the amount that I'm taking. So cold medicine I get just generic stuff over the counter, but it has 2 pills, and if it's severe symptoms, I'll take both, and then as the symptoms get better, like yesterday and today, I'll take one and space it out throughout the day. So it's scaffolding it down so it's as the symptoms get better. If the symptoms stay severe, then we're taking more so I don't feel so bad. But thankfully, I get over it pretty quick most of the time. Honestly, think lifting still helps me get through illness faster, just because I don't want to get out of my routine. All right, so 3 doubles. Try to do what I was thinking about on the snatches as I got better is try to keep it close and get my hips in the same position each time. One more. I forgot to do band work yesterday, but probably do some before I leave the shed. For the arms. Alright. straps being annoying. I'll do one more. Second one felt like bumped my leg. Felt wrong. Immoral. But easy peasy. Snatches were stressful, but when aren't they? Oh, yeah, that's what a lot of people at the school I work at, it's going around to students and to teachers, that like flu thing. It's funny with that I forget his name, but your cat person, that Instagrammer person. Actually, I don't think he can lift my I don't know who that is. But I forget his name. That's gonna bug me. But the guy who dresses up as a janitor, he uses fake weights to his videos, and people get really upset. Anytime I mention that, like, it doesn't mean that he's not strong, but it's clear in the videos how the weights are moving that they are fake a lot of the times. And sometimes I'm like, even if they are real, they're set up in a way to make it look like it's more weight than it is, even if they are legitimate weights. It doesn't mean that he's not strong or anything. I think he did a really ugly sumo back in the day with, I actually don't know how much it was, but Anatoly. He's not like weak by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not as strong as people. Like, I've had people like, go on one of my heavier lifts and like, this weight, and Anatoly could walk in or what, something about him. And like, he's not walking in and doing a 600-pound deadlift cold. Like, we could do 400 pounds. Like, I've done 495 without warming up before. But like, yeah, like that's the thing is like, he's not legit. Like that's, he's not like he doesn't lift weights and he's not strong. But in like the videos, they're clearly just skits and like, like you could tell by not just the weights, but also like the people in the videos. They're not all obviously professional actors because he has to make so many of them to make all his content and whatnot, and they're not good actors. So it's like obviously it's just for show, which is fine. Like I don't have an issue with anything he does because he is like a legitimate lifter. Yeah, and that's the thing is like he obviously is a strong lifter, but when you have 6 different plates on the bar and they're all black plates and you can't tell how much weight, and you see him lift occasionally with like calibrated plates, or at least plates you can tell by the color of it what he's lifting, you know that he's doing it for the video or whatever, which like 405 or whatever for the average person is fine and dandy. And like, I don't know, I feel like once I've seen one of his videos, because people have commented him so much and I had seen a couple of them, like, oh yeah, whatever. But people really think that he is strong. Well, that's the thing. He's not strong. He's very he is strong, but he's just the weights that he makes it seem like in the videos that he's not strong. But whatchamacallit, even my dad mentioned him to me and was like, he can snatch 135 pounds, and like no, he cannot. Like I had to show up the Dmitry Klokov doing 100 kilos and looking like it was a life or death situation for him to do. And it's like, I don't think people realize like he maybe he can. Like it's not like impossible, but like I'm just off the top. Like I think one of the videos I saw him doing it, it was probably at most, I think he had 10-pound plates on each side, so it was probably 65 pounds. At the absolute most, it was 88 because they were 10 kilo or 10 pounds, whatever. But like, even that's impressive to do with the bar itself. Like, its technique is not bad, but when people, it's weird if people think that he's stronger than he is. Like, but I think that's just people's not understand. I guess it's more like people who lift weights can understand what he's doing and the weights that he's actually doing. People who don't will just like immediately look and like, oh, I know a plate's 45 pounds and I see six plates. It must be, you know, 585 or whatever. Does that make 585? Yeah, it makes 585. So like, oh, it must be that. Wow, he's the strongest person ever. It's like you see people who are actually strong. Like you understand that like he's not world class in that regard, but he's not a slob. He's not a slob by any stretch of the imagination. But I would love. I mean, like if he wanted to come in and do a cold deadlift with 300 kilos, I think his PR, maybe it's more than that. I don't know what his best conventional deadlift. I'm sure it's not 300 because I think his PR is with a crazy wide sumo. Like he wants to come in and try to conventional deadlift 300 kilos and do play around with that, then mad respect to him. But I don't know anyone in the world that's gonna raw dog 300 just in janitor clothes for fun. The people that are going to do that, you're probably going to be able to tell when they walk up to the bar that they can lift weights. And I think he's lighter too. He's not even like he's obviously like muscular, but he's not like 100 kilos. I think he's like 80 some kilos. So that also kind of leads to more of the, he's not doing these monstrosity of weights. But I don't know. I never really paid attention to him. I don't really still. I just get people commenting his stuff. I guess he's popular. I mean, he has a lot of followers and whatnot. But I don't really get entertained by that kind of stuff just because, at least to me, it's just redundant. Like, yeah, it's goofy or whatever. But if you knew it was real, then it would be one thing. But um, in what, not in any like weightlifting. Not in Olympic weightlifting, he did not, because that would have been quite noteworthy. Unless he does a different sport that I don't know about. I think he just does social media. Like I don't. That's not a dog on him, but like I think that's his thing. Like I don't think he does any. Like, I don't even know if he really like he doesn't compete or anything in powerlifting even. Um, yes, work on them. Work on the muscles that are imbalanced. Like I don't know, just think about them. Work on them. Stretch, mobile. Carry around a 35 kilo broom. That's one thing I've seen. I did see a video of him, showing the mop or whatever, and so like that's legitimate. But like, 70. I think it's 35 kilos. So like 70 pounds. That's heavy, and it's a goofy weight to pick up in a broom form. So like stuff like that. It's like oh he's obviously strong. He's carrying that around, not like super easy, but like he's hoisting it around and he's making it look like it's not 70 pounds or whatever. So like not like he's a slouch. And that's the tricky thing is like when you say oh it's fake weights, you're like well he's not weak or he has muscle. I'm like he's not weak, he just doesn't walk up to a bar and do 585 without warming up. Unless all his videos he's secretly warming up, which would be really inefficient. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that has to do with LeBron's legacy, but people really do say the most random stuff on here. But on that note, sir and madams, although there's probably one female and mostly males, which is the demographics of this channel. Um, so my advice, I assume you're talking about in pounds, is don't worry about a belt and just train without one and don't stress about it. Using a belt, I have found I originally, for a while, my PR was without a belt for deadlift. Um, and then eventually I took not necessarily practice with it, but just using it more because I would do it at the end of my training sessions. So I do lifts, snatch and clean jerk and whatnot, and then I would just randomly do deadlifts. So I would just do with whatever straps and whatnot. So I would just train without a belt with light weights and triples. I don't really see much of a benefit of doing more than a set of three most of the time. You could do like a couple sets of five, but the biggest thing if you're trying to improve your technique at the deadlift is just film it and look at your technique. Don't have other people look at it. Film it, and if you want to look at it with someone, then you can. But just try to get your back to be, in a good position, your hips to be. You want your lift to look aesthetic, and that's not just because aesthetic lifting looks better, but most of the time, if you're trying to make your lift look more aesthetic, you're going to be fixing technical faults that you would normally have. Like if you're really, rounded, that's a neat, that's something that you can fix. If you're like, my hips are too high, I can get my hips lower. And so, like, focusing on those larger conceptual things will allow you to lift more consistently, but also just improve your technique. Not really worrying about, you can move your feet around and adjust your hands and all that stuff, but that's like the minutia. Like the big thing is like where your hips start, how straight your back is, or how tight you're able to maintain your back in the position that it is. So like a belt is kind of just like once you've done all those things and you're really comfortable with your form, it's like you can use a belt in you don't have to listen to me. You can use a belt right now. Um, I don't know if there's an exact science to figuring out how to use it. I just get it in a good position, and it's not even to protect my back. It's to lift more weight or to feel comfortable lifting more weight because you can increase the interabdominal pressure. If I didn't want to hurt my back, I'm not worried about deadlifts hurting my back because my back is built for deadlifts. But if I didn't want to hurt my back, I just maintain technical form. And if I feel stuff breaking down, then you just stop the lift. And that's true of any squat or pull that I do. If something feels wonky or off, then especially with a heavy load, then I just stop. And for me, like front and back squats are going to be what is going to potentially injure me more so than a deadlift. I very rarely get hurt doing a deadlift. I don't know if I actually have ever been hurt doing a deadlift. And so my PR deadlift is 310 kilos, so 685 in pounds. Yesterday I did 660, and it was pretty difficult, but um, like a good weight on any particular day for me to do now is 300 for. And yesterday I used a belt, but see, like I'm a weird person because I'm good at deadlifts, but I'm bad about teaching people like programming for it. Because all I did when I was powerlifting, I'd film all my lifts, whether it was for YouTube or just for myself, and I'd film directly from the side and try to get my hips to be in a good position. My back was naturally rounded when I started, when I was weak, and I had good leverages, but my back, I just literally couldn't physically hold straight. And so I just kept working on getting my back to be in full extension throughout the lift. Um, yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing is, like, there's no more weight isn't inherently dangerous. You just have to build up to it. Like if you are struggling with 335, if you slap on 400 pounds right now, then that would be like me trying to slap on 750 pounds. Like it doesn't. It's not a logical thing to do. So if you are struggling with 335, you want to establish that that's like maybe that's your training max. So like maybe you've done, and that actually is a good thing to. I'll end on this note. So there's two numbers when you're thinking of a lift that are important. Your I would say casual or training max, and then your lifetime PR. The longer you lift, the more that those numbers will not always be close to each other. When you're closer in peaks or you're doing the lift a lot, they'll be close and they'll be almost the same. But if you're out of practice, you're in a really high volume block, they're going to be further away from each other. So my best deadlift I mentioned is 310 kilos. And doing 300 yesterday, it's not like I could have done 310 yesterday. I would have just failed that weight. So 300 was effectively my one rep max for that current day. But when you're thinking of your deadlift training or any of your lifts, not just deadlifts, or any of your lifts, it's important when you're thinking of like if you're going to base things off percentages or you're trying to find a good number to do for a certain amount of reps is not necessarily looking at like this is my best lift I've ever done and I'm going to base all my percentages off that lift. You want to look at that weight potentially. Like if you just hit a PR, then maybe that is your current strength level. But if your best deadlift is 335, maybe on any particular day you can do like a 320 deadlift. Like or whatever you think that number is like all right. If I get enough sleep and I'm hydrated and I everything goes fine for a normal day, I could definitely do whatever weight that is on a casual day. And yeah, with like the heavier weights, that's why there's a lot of bad rap about filming in like public gyms and stuff, and obviously you should be respectful of people and not like freak out if people walk in front of your camera and whatnot. But that's why filming is nice because you can literally just think, I'm just going to try to lift this weight as perfect as I can and just try to be as perfect as you can. And then you analyze the form. And then, for instance, I actually just had this happen Saturday. Um, a friend was squatting and his bar was like tipping over to one side. And I was like, just film from the front, try to fix it, and then you just look at it on the camera, and then you can see A, if you fixed it, and B, how extreme it is, or whatever you're trying to think about, you can correlate that to the actual lift. So you want to have simple cues when you're lifting, because if you think too much about your technique while you're lifting, you're gonna, just like I did today, you're gonna miss lifts and like have bad sessions or bad lifts. But if you are trying to fix simple cues, one word cues, simple things like that, and trying to make it look as nice as possible, then you could build up on that. And I'm kind of OCD where I'll film everything all the time, but also making videos and stuff, so it kind of works out in that regard anyway. But I'd be filming everything anyway. That's how I've been since I've been 15, 16 for baseball. I just film all my practice throws to get better at it. But if you want to get better at a technique, you have to look at it and be able to measure the change over time. And you can look at the weight that you're doing, but you can also look at the technical development over time. And if I look at my old deadlifts or any lift from 5, 6, 7 years ago to now, like there's not just the weight has increased, but the technique and the form has improved as well. So it's nice for that regard as well. But yeah, it's like if you're working on technique, I would still pull in the same way and just film it and then analyze the lift after. I'm not really sure, necessarily what you were doing to slow down to work on it, but it could just made it, that was an easy lift if you're doing with your normal effort, but if you're doing it slow, it messed with your technique or it made it more feel heavier than it was or put more strain on. So it's a tricky thing to fix, but um, yeah, that you need to change that. That will help your deadlift too. That's when I've done weightlifting, I haven't trained specifically deadlift. I still deadlift, but I don't like try to increase it. And it's just through squatting has made my deadlift go up. So that's should be like the focus I think of most people's training or of most averagely built people. There are the exceptions that are really really built well for squats that maybe need to focus more on deadlifts, but most people need to focus on their squats. But yeah, I would say if you're deadlifting 335, like you should probably squat like 275, 285. Um, and you probably find if you aren't at that, which I suspect, you probably will increase your deadlift just from increasing your squat. But it's also the same thing. Like you should be doing full reps, full depth reps, and having upright posture and all of that good stuff. So so one of the tricky things, like if you have bad squat technique, then it probably still help your deadlift, but you'll probably just get hurt and not like it, or like it won't feel good with it. You just film, dial in the technique, and it's a ever changing process and ever continuing process. But eventually you get comfortable. Yeah, but was it full depth though? 275 for 7, but was it like weightlifter depth? That's the true question. I'm gonna start wiping off my bar. If it's not ATG, then it's nothing. No, me. You were you on the ground? Were you double cheeked on the ground? That's the true test to depth. But no, I mean if you're doing that with like weightlifter technique, then that's really good. And me, if that's it's kind of a weird top set to have. So it tells me that you probably have more if that's like your best weight that you've done, or maybe that's just your best set. But film your lifts. Don't think too much when you're doing it. Think of 1 to 2 simple cues that are going to help you do the lift well. Um, hmm, yeah, but I would just film your lifts. Try to get the technique better. And like, if you're worried about filming in public, then just film your top sets. You don't have to film every single set building up. Just work up. You're like, all right, today I'm gonna deadlift 285, and I'm doing multiple sets. I'm just gonna film the last set, or film the first set and then the last. It's like you. It's another tool, and that's all it is. It's a tool to help improve your technique. Because if you're looking for the aesthetics, then you're going to have a better looking lift, and a better looking lift is probably going to be better from a technique standpoint, as long as you have a general eye for athletic development. Like if you have played a sport, you kind of know what good movement looks like and what bad movement looks like, and you just want to look better in your movement, and that will naturally allow you to focus on things. But focus on big parts of your movement, so like hips and backs and stuff, not necessarily if your arms look a little weird or like this or that. It's like the big muscles, because those are the big impact of all the lifts. But that's good. Yeah, you just want to stick with it, but also film directly from the side, directly from the front, and just keep working on it. But yeah, don't want to overthink while you're doing the lift, especially if it's like a really heavy lift, or for whatever. Even if it felt easy, if it's like a heavy weight, don't necessarily want to be overthinking it when you're doing it, because usually leads to bad things. Simple cues, because your simple brain and my simple brain is the one doing the lifting, and the analytical part of our brain can do all the thinking after. But that being said, I'm gonna hit some arms, go and eat some food because I am absolutely starving. And you have a good night, sir. And I will talk to you all three guys that are still hanging out. I'll talk to you all on the next one. But have a good night, bud.